Welcome to Told History, a place where forgotten moments of our shared past spring to life through immersive stories and cinematic detail. Here, you'll discover worlds and wonders that time nearly erased. If you enjoy stepping into lost chapters of world history, be sure to like and subscribe. Your support helps us continue unearthing mysteries from ancient sands to modern marvels for you. In this video, we journey to Paris' windswept Supe Valley, a place long thought desolate and silent. Today, you'll experience the incredible rediscovery of Carol, a city older than the pyramids. Together, we'll explore how this vanished civilization has forever changed what we know about the dawn of humanity, inviting you to imagine the secrets hidden beneath the endless desert. Let's begin with Chapter 1. Chapter 1. Whispers in the Desert Sands. As dawn breaks over the Supe Valley, golden light stretches across a barren landscape. The wind swirls gently, sculpting ripples in endless ochre dunes. Yet, beneath the hush, echoes of ancient footsteps seem to linger, barely heard. Generations of local people have spoken in quiet awe about legends, a whole city swallowed by sand, waiting to tell its tale. What mysteries sleep beneath this vast silence? The Supe Valley, at first glance, appears stark and lifeless, just sun, wind, and miles of coarse, cracked earth. But listen closely. There's a story whispered in the breeze, passed down through families for centuries. Some nights, elders gather by firelight, recalling times when spirits wandered the dunes, guarding secrets buried deep below. Carol, they would say, a name tangled in myth and rumour, is the heart of these legends. Travellers who dared cross the desert sometimes paused, puzzled by patterns in the sand, lines too straight, mounds too symmetrical to be nature's doing. Birds would wheel silently overhead, stirring the dust as if remembering the souls who once thrived here. The air carries a hint of salt from distant ocean breezes, mingling with the warm scent of sun-baked earth. Everything feels alive with invisible history. Night in the Supe Valley is unlike anywhere else. The cold settles in quietly, and the heavens shimmer with countless stars. Silence stretches across the plains, yet a listener might sense the land exhaling stories about a city that flourished before the rise of Egypt, before the stones of Stonehenge stood. Somewhere, beneath the mute sands, Corral waits, its secrets pressing gently against the world above. Imagine standing on those ancient sands centuries ago, the air busy with voices and laughter, sunlight gleaming off stone terraces. In distant memory, music and ceremony filled the desert with hope and purpose. Each grain of sand now covering the valley was once part of daily life, trod underfoot by children, merchants and builders reaching for the unknown. What dreams inspired them, so far from all we know? For generations, local farmers found enigmatic ruins poking through the earth. A broken pot here, a sunken wall there. Many shrugged, imagining they were ordinary stones or natural formations. Yet, the oldest among them whispered otherwise. They believed an entire city slumbered below, hidden by time and guarded by the Winder city whose story would one day return to the world. Some told tales of glowing lights gliding across the desert at dusk, or shapes vanishing behind shimmering haze. Children listened wide-eyed, clutching blankets as their elders spoke. They learned that Corral was more than just legend, it was a memory embedded in the land, a city that witnessed beginnings. What knowledge might it reveal, if ever awakened from its sandy shroud? The Supe Valley itself feels timeless. Rivers once flowed more freely, carving paths through the dirt before vanishing under the sun. The people who first settled here saw the valley not as empty, but as filled with promise. Its endless horizon called to them, offering a place to build, to dream, and to endure. Carol would arise from this promise, becoming something both powerful and fragile. But dreams often fade to legend. For thousands of years, Carol's story sank deep into silence, overtaken by dust storms and forgotten seasons. Only scraps remained, bands of brick or reed baskets half buried by unrelenting winds. Still, in every hush, the city's soul persisted, patient, holding on to memories of lives that once danced in the desert sun, waiting for another chance to be seen again. Early explorers misunderstood what they found here. Uncaring of the hints hidden in the sand, they searched for gold or jewels, missing the quiet grandeur around them. The valley's silence protected its secret, allowing nature and myth to weave together. Unseen by those who rushed through, Corral sheltered centuries of innovation beneath the desert's outward simplicity. In the early morning, when winds are still, the Supe Valley pulses with anticipation. The land seems to hope someone will finally truly listen to its ancient whispers. Shadows of mounds stretch across the plain, suggesting structures and plazas now disguised by dust. It is a place suspended between past and present, longing for rediscovery just beneath the next footstep. So many questions drift through the air here. Who built Carol? Why so far from rivers or fertile valleys? How did they survive, thrive, and then vanish so completely? The valley holds these questions quietly, letting them echo across the centuries. Each sunrise brings a chance that the answers might surface, illuminated by curious minds open to possibilities beyond imagination. Over time, rumours spread among archaeologists and adventurers of strange stone platforms peeking out in the dust, of geometry where chaos should reign. Some dismissed these as tricks of light, but a few grew more intrigued. These persistent seekers felt the pulse of hidden history. They sensed that the Supe Valley might hold the key to rewriting what we think we know about the beginning of civilization. Pause for a moment and picture it. A city older than the pyramids of Giza, thriving quietly beside a now meandering river. Carol's people watched the same stars above, felt the wind in their faces, dreamed of tomorrow. Long before the world's great empires, they built monuments, traded, and forged connections, leaving silent imprints that begged to be understood anew. The legends of Carol were more than idle tales. They were echoes, warnings, and invitations. They taught each new generation that beneath the most unassuming places, extraordinary legacies might rest. The people of the Supe Valley, even when uncertain, never completely forgot. Their stories kept the memory of the city alive, a fragile thread stretching across thousands of years and countless sunrises. Whenever explorers returned empty-handed, the valley felt victorious, still veiling its treasures beneath layers of earth and legend. But the city's allure only grew. Over time, maps faded and names changed, but the legend of Carol lingered, waiting for someone with fresh eyes and patience to see what others had missed. The desert's silence deepened, as if preparing for the day its secrets would speak. With every passing century, the desert changed shape, sculpted by wind and rare rain. But some contours remained unaltered, unusual flat-topped mounds, curious arrangements of stone blocks, subtle reminders that the land itself was once shaped by purposeful human hands. Those who truly observed began to piece together a puzzle, guided by faith in old legends and a sense that something profound lay waiting in the ground. Once, as a crimson sunset drenched the valley in warmth, an old shepherd stopped to rest by a ridge. His flock grazed in silence as he traced the outline of a weathered stone with his fingers. He wondered, as so many before him had, whether this quiet place once echoed with laughter and music. He left with more questions than answers, pondering the mysteries of Carol as evening drew close. Stories say the city was not just a collection of buildings, but a living memory etched into the land's deepest bones. Each stone had Minenga language spoken in structure, symmetry, and sound. Corral beckoned to be found not for its riches, but for the wisdom entwined within its walls, wisdom powerful enough to reshape what we know about how civilizations rise and fall. As modern day began to dawn, winds carried new voices across the dunes, archaeologists curious and patient, arriving with questions the ancient ones might once have asked themselves. Little by little, their footsteps echoed those of millennia past. With each careful touch of the trowel, a silent promise lingered. The story of Carol would awaken, and the world would finally listen to what the desert had kept. The stage was set. The legend of Carol suspended between myth and reality, between the silence of centuries and the anticipation of revelation. It waited, poised on the brink of rediscovery. Would those who stood at the edge of the Supe Valley be able to see past the emptiness, into the heart of history itself? Only time, patience, and the courage to believe in old stories could reveal the truth beneath the sands. And so, the Supe Valley remained patient still, golden and watchful. Soon, the world would come to understand the profound legacy hidden just below its surface. The desert's greatest secret was ready to be unearthed. Carol's story was about to be told again, not as a whisper in the wind, but as a monument to human imagination, courage, and the enduring power of memory. The journey had only begun. Chapter 2. The Secrets Beneath Our Feet. The soft morning light spills across the Peruvian desert as archaeologists gather in silence, their eyes searching the vast expanse for hidden clues. Around them, faint mounds ripple in the earth and curious stone patterns emerge, whispering of secrets long buried. Each step forward is careful, every movement laced with the quiet respect that comes from knowing history may soon be revealed. Shovels and brushes in hand, the team fans out across the site, guided by intuition and maps marked with hope. The desert air is cool, filled with the gentle scrape of metal on soil and the soft murmur of anticipation among the group. As the layers of sand and dust are peeled away, every careful motion holds the promise of something extraordinary, just waiting to be uncovered. Beneath their boots, the ground feels both ancient and fragile, a silent guardian of forgotten worlds. The archaeologists pause often, taking in the alignment of stones and the peculiar arrangement of earthworks. These subtle formations suggest meaning, perhaps ceremonial, perhaps practical teasing at the edges of understanding. Each pause deepens the sense that something profound rests below, just out of sight. As the dig progresses, the team's voices grow softer, their focus sharpening on the smallest details: a glint of quartz, a pattern in the way roots twist through old thresholds. They gather to discuss their findings, piecing together a fragile puzzle. Even the breeze seems to hold its breath, as every fragment hints at layers of history stacked in patient silence beneath their feet. The anticipation grows with each discovery, no matter how modest. A piece of pottery's rim, weathered but distinct, sparks excitement. Nearby, the faint outline of an ancient wall emerges from the earth. Every find, no matter how small or worn, is catalogued with careful hands and watchful eyes, the team's determination unwavering as the story deepens with every layer removed. In moments of stillness, one can almost imagine what once stood Hiria City humming with life, echoing with songs and rituals now lost to time. The archaeologists trade quiet glances, united by a growing sense that what lies beneath the ground could reshape everything they thought they knew. Uncertainty mingles with hope, building a tension as the dig moves forward. Sunlight shifts slowly across the excavation zone, casting long shadows that seem to point toward forgotten doorways and ceremonial paths. The archaeologists mark their findings, mapping each stone and shard with precision. Their hands move methodically, but beneath the routine beats an impatience, a longing to uncover the secret that has slumbered here for thousands of years. Bit by bit, the ground surrenders pieces of its story. A carved bone tool surfaces, a tangible echo of hands and minds from another age. With each artifact, the sense of wonder grows. The soil, once silent, now speaks in hints and fragments, suggesting that beneath the surface lies more than a simple ruin, perhaps a civilization whose reach and purpose is still unseen. Dust clings to every fingertip, yet no one complains. The dig is quiet save for measured breaths and the rhythmic patter of fine brushes over stone. Everything is done deliberately, every object handled as if it might shatter the delicate narrative being unearthed. Even the most weathered fragment is precious here, a secret entrusted to those patient enough to search. As the day wears on, the landscape seems to change, shaped by slow progress and careful hope. Ground once featureless now bears the imprint of tools, and footprints a living map of discovery. Journals fill with sketches and notes, capturing both breakthroughs and uncertainties. The sense of impending revelation presses in, sharpening every sensation as the team digs ever deeper into history. Within the shifting sands, the outlines of chambers and platforms start to reveal themselves. The team gathers, excitement growing in the silence as the evidence mounts. This was no random scattering of stones, but rather an intentional, ancient construction. Each measured step uncovers more clues, building a picture that hints at complex lives lived long ago. A sudden finder strand of ancient textile, remarkably preserved, causes the team to pause, breathless. It's a fleeting connection to people whose names and stories have been lost. The gently woven threads speak not only of daily life, but of artistry and rituals, and the team knows they have touched something intimate, a secret gently passed through time. As twilight falls, golden light settles over the site, casting every trench and mound into sharp relief. The archaeologists linger, unwilling to leave the day's mysteries, studying every shadow as if it might give up a new clue. The world grows quiet around them, the promise of discovery heavy in the cooling air, as they ponder what tomorrow might reveal. Night brings a sense of reflection. Around their small campfire, the archaeologists share stories, theories, and cautious excitement. The oldest among them recalls similar finds from distant lands, but nothing quite like this. The gentle crackle of flames is a soft soundtrack to their wonder, the desert darkness echoing with possibilities just below the surface. As sleep takes hold, thoughts swirl shows of ancient inhabitants and the promise of truths waiting to emerge. Each team member drifts into dreams where the mounds come alive and the city's secrets unfold with clarity. In the hush of night, the feeling grows that these discoveries are not only about the past, but about changing the story of how civilization began. With dawn's first light, eagerness stirs anew. The team rises, spirits buoyed by possibility, ready to learn what lies beneath untouched earth. They return to the site, hands steady and hearts racing. There is a quiet determination among them, knowing that patience and care are their greatest tools, that each new day could bring a world-altering revelation. As they resume digging, a subtle shift in the soil's colour draws attention. This new layer, darker and richer, might hide remnants of fires, feasts or ceremonies from a vanished era. The team's anticipation sharpens as they carefully document and preserve every nuance. Something extraordinary feels close now, just under the surface, holding its breath for discovery. Artifacts continue to emerge: beads, worked stone, fragments of unfamiliar designs. Each is weighed and measured, turning in careful hands as the archaeologists debate their origins and purpose. The collection grows, painting a picture grander and more mysterious than expected. Every new piece feels like a key, promising to unlock a story lost to time. A sense of reverence colours each moment. The team pauses to gaze out at the desert's vastness, awed by the enormity of their quest. Even as their hands grow tired, their resolve remains. The ground beneath them seems alive with possibility, each footstep a promise that what they seek might soon step out from the shadows of prehistory and into the light. The work is slow but purposeful. Precision matters. The smallest error could erase clues that have survived for millennia. The archaeologists remind themselves that this dig is not only a search for objects, but for meaning, connection and truth. As the sun climbs higher, sweat beads on brows, but the fire of curiosity burns ever brighter within the group. Occasionally, laughter and shared wonder punctuate the quiet focus. A small, carved figure, face smoothed by centuries, draws smiles and hushed awe. It's as if each artifact is a greeting from the past, bridging immense distances. Piece by piece, these finds begin to hint at a city not just lost, but sophisticated, defying what was once believed about ancient civilization. Afternoon brings encouraging signs. Beneath the surface, larger stones align in geometric patterns, suggesting plazas, homes, maybe even temples. The team maps these shapes, hearts racing as possibilities multiply. The findings are enough to provoke dreams of grand discoveries, of rewriting the earliest pages of human history. All around, the air is electric with hope. By evening, exhaustion competes with excitement. The day's work is carefully recorded, every artifact labelled and every trench covered, preserving the site for more discoveries tomorrow. As the sun dips below distant hills, the team stands in silent agreement. They are close to something profound. The secrets beneath their feet are whispering louder, ready to change everything. In the fading light, the site returns to stillness, but the promise of Carol's mysteries lingers in the air. The archaeologists gather their tools, knowing that the real story is only beginning to unfold. Anticipation courses through the team, stronger than ever. Tomorrow may finally reveal what the modest finds have been hinting at all along, a lost chapter in humanity's story. Chapter 3. Unearthing the First Stones. Early morning sunlight spills across the dusty plain as the excavation team brushes back layers of earth that have hidden their secrets for millennia. Each sweep of the brush reveals stones massive, impossibly heavy, fit together with astonishing precision. The mood is hushed, reverent, as the team realizes these are not just boulders, but the remnants of something monumental lying beneath their feet. With every careful movement, more of the foundation comes into view, silent witnesses to a story buried in time. The stones stretch out in neat, purposeful lines, forming patterns that seem too deliberate for nature alone. Some stones are so large, their placement is a mystery in itself. The shining mica and faint glyphs hint at knowledge and skill long forgotten, and curiosity grows with every new discovery uncovered in the soft morning light. sense of awe drapes over the archaeologists as they trace the edges of what could have been ancient walls. The sediment yields evidence of clearly defined right angles, suggesting planned architecture beyond simple shelters. One team member quietly whispers, "Could this really be one of the world's oldest cities?" It is as if the ground itself is offering up pieces of a forgotten puzzle, beckoning to be solved by modern hands. As layers of sand are peeled away, the team uncovers fragments of tool chisels shaped for stone, and something resembling a level. These relics hint at an advanced understanding of construction and design. There is speculation and quiet debate, breaths of excitement mixing with caution. The realization dawns that these foundations are older than most known structures, their age whispered on the breeze that shivers across the unearthed stones. Birdsong ripples across the site, but to the archaeologists, the only sounds that matter are the gentle scraping of trowels and the heartbeat thrum of wonder. Each stone, placed with mathematical accuracy, suggests a community guided by shared purpose and vision. It is in these moments that history feels closest, as if the voices of the past might soon echo out, ready to tell their story anew through the stones beneath the team's fingertips. Strange features begin to emerge. A step running the length of a wall, a groove carved in stone filled with ancient bits of organic material. The discoveries spark spirited discussion. Could this groove once have carried water? Was this step a platform for rituals? Theories begin to swirl, carried like dust motes in the warm sunlight. Every answer seems to invite even deeper questions about who these earliest builders might have been. Amidst the excitement, there is a profound sense of responsibility. The team feels the weight of these discoveries, knowing that every detail matters. Careful sketches are made of each stone's placement, each pattern in the soil mapped and measured. The scientists work as both detectives and caretakers, determined to preserve even the smallest detail, lest centuries-old clues vanish with a careless movement or a hurried step. In the shadow of a stone that towers above the rest, two team members uncover a cluster of small, shaped pebbles, evidence, perhaps, of early games or rituals performed on this very ground. Each stone is brushed free of dust and placed on cloth for examination, treated like precious artifacts. The sensation of holding these ancient objects fills the air with electricity, and a silent promise is made to honour those who once walked these streets. The sun climbs higher, tracing golden highlights along the exposed stones, and a birdsong hushes as the wind rises. The excavation's progress is slow but purposeful, a careful dance with the past. Thoughts drift to the people who once built here, their hands shaping raw earth into the beginnings of society. Wonder fills every moment, as the city's old bones stretch beneath the surface, hinting at secrets yet to be told. A moment comes when the team steps back, taking in the scale of exposed foundations. The very air seems charged, pulsing with stories unsaid. A stone slab is revealed, its face smoothed by hands unseen for millennia, marked by faint, purposeful lines. Could these lines be a kind of language? Each discovery feels like the lifting of a veil, where every detail has been left as if in waiting, meant for this rediscovery in modern times. Hints of a complex layout become evident as more walls are revealed. Multiple passageways and chambers suggest spaces reserved for ritual, gathering, or governance. No single explanation seems to fit all the clues, leaving the archaeologists captivated by the city's complexity. Patterns in the stones catch the sunlight and imagination alike, inviting everyone to wonder about the design and intention that once pulsed in this now silent ground. The sediment, heavy with centuries of secrets, continues to yield more fragments of the past. Tiny pieces of charcoal and seed are discovered, suggesting ancient cooking fires or ceremonial offerings. Every reveal deepens the emotional connection between the present and the people who built here. The team pauses, reflecting on how these everyday remnants are small windows into a world both familiar and impossibly distant, blending daily life with mystery. A remarkable alignment is noticed. Several of the giant stones appear arranged to face the horizon where the sun first rises. Was this deliberate a tribute to the sun, or perhaps a calendar to mark the passing seasons? The suggestion of astronomical awareness adds yet another layer of intrigue. As dust swirls in the shifting light, the possibility of early science and spirituality intertwined stirs a sense of reverence among all who are present. The architectural complexity suggests a society of planners and dreamers, not simply survivors. Some stones bear traces of pigmenta, faded red, or ochre hints of decorative flourishes that once made these walls vibrant with colour. The notion that this place was not just functional but beautiful speaks to the hearts of those excavating, painting a picture of an ancient people who celebrated life as they built lasting monuments. An eerie stillness settles as midday arrives. The ground radiates warmth, heating the stones until they shimmer with memory. The team pauses to drink in the view, centuries compressed into this very moment. The old city emerging as if revealing itself by choice. There is a sense of reverence and responsibility, a recognition that every artifact unearthed could reshape modern understanding of where and how civilization first began to take root. Unexpectedly, a faint pattern is uncovered, etched along the surface of a stone. The design appears intentional flowing lines that suggest rivers, or perhaps the winding movement of life itself. The detail and care behind these marks are striking, prompting one archaeologist to gently trace the pattern with a gloved finger, marvelling at the thought that someone, thousands of years ago, might have done exactly the same thing for an audience unseen. Speculation swirls within the group. Could these marks have marked territory, told stories, or kept time? Or were they the signature of a builder long lost to memory? The mystery fills everyone with both frustration and wonder, making each step forward in the excavation feel like a conversation with the past. It is as though each stone and mark resists silence, whispering that their true story is still waiting to be learned. The tempo of discovery slows as the team works deeper into what they believe is the heart of the ancient city. Soil grows denser, finds rarer, but what is revealed is even more thrilling: thick walls, laid in deliberate courses, and floors layered with packed earth and gravel. These details speak to ingenuity and long-term planning. It becomes clear that this was no ordinary village, but a place of lasting importance and communal pride. As afternoon lengthens, the light changes, filling newly exposed chambers with a golden glow. The atmosphere becomes contemplative. The finds invite quiet admiration rather than exuberant shouts. Some discover tiny shells embedded in mortar, delicate reminders of distant seas, speaking to networks of trade and travel. Each clue hints at a society fully engaged with the wider world, bridging gaps between the familiar and the unknown. With the day drawing toward dusk, the archaeologists confront a profound question. Who were these builders? The magnitude of the site suggests leaders with vision and workers united by shared purpose. As they record every detail, the team senses their own place in the continuum of history, a living link between vanished hands and the modern world. Every stone seems to pulse with memory, urging the story to be told onward. The first whisper of wind after sunset is echoed by the soft closing of journals and collection cases. The unearthed stones remain, silent and monumental in the cooling evening. The team shares a quiet moment, aware that what they have uncovered today is only the beginning. There is comfort in the knowledge that every fragment of the old city, from massive stones to faded pottery shards, will carry its story forward for those who listen and look. As night falls, the excavation site is bathed in moonlight, and the newly revealed stones glow softly, as though holding their own kind of memory. The stars overhead mirror the patterns below. The team's work is not yet complete. Tonight, while the city slumbers beneath the open sky, curiosity burns brighter than ever. The questions left by these ancient engineers echo, promising more discoveries with the coming dawn. Throughout the night, the uncovered stones are watched over by the team, each member wrapped in thoughts of the city's inhabitants. These ancient foundations have outlasted generations, and now they prepare to reveal the next piece of their tale. The air is filled with anticipation at sunrise. They will return to this place where time and memory intersect, ready to add yet another thread to the vibrant tapestry of Carol's rebirth. By the first blush of dawn, the sight awakes again. The city seems to breathe beneath sheets of morning mist, stones emerging from the gloom like sentinels from another age. The team moves quietly, filled with both gratitude and excitement. They know they are part of something larger, now a story bigger than themselves. Each stone promises new stories, each morning another chance to walk the lost city's ancient avenues anew. Chapter 4. Carol Revealed. As dawn breaks over the Supe Valley, ancient silhouettes begin to stir in the gentle light. The jagged peaks of pyramidal mounds rise from the sands, their stone faces catching golden rays that once greeted the earliest Peruvians. With each minute, more of Carol's grandeur comes into focus. The sheer scale of this lost city is breathtaking, almost beyond belief for a world so distant in time. Moving deeper into the heart of Carol, we find sunken plazas lying like open palms, wide and inviting. These spaces, once the social core of the metropolis, draw our eyes to their artful geometry. Wide avenues fan out in orderly patterns, connecting platforms and ceremonial centres. The thoughtful arrangement is striking. Even today, it stirs admiration for the minds that planned and shaped this ancient wonder so long ago. The plaza stones still seem to hold echoes of distant gatherings, perhaps the voices of priests, musicians, or excited townsfolk. Above these courts, great pyramid mounds command the landscape, their steps promising a path heavenward. Imagine the builders. They must have stood in awe at the marvels they created. The organisation and ingenuity displayed here reveal a society deeply attuned to both the land and the cycles of the sun. Gazing across the city, one cannot help but marvel at the sheer effort it took to shape Carol's sweeping avenues and grand plazas. Each mound and platform stands as a silent testament to the determination of Carol's people. Long before the rise of the more famous pyramids of Egypt, these builders carved out a unique path of civilization, blending earth, stone and vision into something truly extraordinary for their time. With every step closer, the ingenuity of Carol's architects becomes even clearer. The functional beauty of the city's layouts, wide, straight roads, precisely placed plazas, and perfectly aligned pyramids, reveals a society that valued order, symmetry, and sacred harmony. How astonishing it must have seemed to those who stood here millennia ago, surrounded by the ambitions and dreams of their people, their future rising with the sun. Envision the city at its highest point, sunlight glinting off stone walls, wide avenues bustling with activity, and spiral staircases ascending towards ceremonial platforms. Distant melodies and footsteps would echo between plazas and residential areas. This living city pulsed with energy, drawing people together in ritual and gathering. Carol was more than a settlement, it was a vibrant hub of innovation, culture, and spiritual life, quietly shaping history beneath South American skies. At its core, Corral's design reflects a profound understanding of both nature and community. Its plazas are framed to catch the warmth of morning sun, and its mounds stand precisely where sacred and practical needs aligned. Such attention to detail hints at a worldview shaped by cosmic cycles and earthly realities. The people of Corral did not simply build a city. They gave shape to their beliefs in stone and earth, forging meaning from the landscape itself. The city's sunken courts invite us to imagine ceremonies, long past dances circling firelight, musicians plucking ancient instruments, and the deep hum of ritual chants. These were the rhythms that animated Carol, making stone and sand come alive with purpose. In every plaza, there is a sense of gathering for worship, governance, or celebration woven into the very blueprint of the city. Even now, traces of their stories linger in the stillness. From above, the city's architecture forms a tapestry of grand design. Pyramids anchor the horizon, while long, straight roads beckon the mind's eye to journey further. Between them, smaller circular plazas and plazas patios create a rhythm in the city's pulse. This deliberate interplay of shapes reveals a people who saw their surroundings not just as shelter, but as an expression of their place in the cosmos and within a tightly knit community. With each reconstructed view, we see more than ruin sway, see innovation etched into the land. Staple crops grew in the fertile valley below, supplying the city with sustenance, while the river's winding course gave life to the people's dreams. The city's builders channeled earth and water to their needs, guiding the rhythms of daily life alongside the movement of the stars. Carroll's harmony with its environment was a triumph of ancient wisdom. Carroll's wide central plazas serve as a reminder that community shaped everything here. These spaces, engineered to bring hundreds together, were the beating heart of city life. Under the open sky, residents gathered to share news, witness spectacles, or perhaps discuss matters of trade and governance. The scale of these spaces alone hints at the ambitions of Carroll's people and their profound commitment to coming together for a common cause. In the glint of morning light, the sunken amphitheatres seem to invite echoes of music and ritual. Imagine the voices that once rose from these hollowed space chants, songs, laughter carried on the gentle breeze. Such places were sacred and central to civic life, cleverly crafted to amplify sound and spirit alike. Each amphitheatre reflects the artistry of its makers and the cultural richness that once flourished in every corner of Carroll. Towering above all stands the main pyramid, its battered steps now softened by time. Picture its summit as it was centuries ago, adorned with offerings and smoke curling skyward during ceremonies. This monument commanded respect and reverence, anchoring the city with a tangible sense of awe. In moments of celebration or crisis, it drew people upward, connecting them not just with each other, but with the mysteries of the unseen world. Each structure at Carroll played a role in a delicate urban symphony. Smaller pyramids framed intimate gathering spaces, while elongated platforms may have served as homes, workshops, or council chambers. This layered city was alive with roles and routines, each building resonating with the pulse of daily existence. The organisation of Carroll's spaces speaks to its people's ability to balance spiritual aspirations with practical needs in their evolving society. To walk these ancient avenues 7 in the mind's eye is to step back into a world of order and purpose. Pathways stretch toward every horizon, inviting travellers to explore Carroll's secrets. As residents once did, you might pause beneath a towering mound, or linger near a bustling plaza, surrounded by sounds of conversation and life. The city's layout gently guides movement, suggesting a careful plan designed to foster connection across generations. Ancient Carroll was not isolated. Its far-reaching roads hint at trade, migration, and cultural exchange beyond the valley. These thoroughfares linked communities, drawing in new ideas, goods, and peoples. Carroll's open design speaks to its cosmopolitan nature, offering safe passage for strangers and neighbours alike. Through these busy arteries, the city welcomed the world, echoing with footsteps from distant places and the promise of distant places and the promise of discovery. Sweeping to the skyline, the city's monumental mounds frame the rising sun. Observers centuries ago must have watched this spectacle in wonderlight, setting the stones ablaze each morning. Carroll's builders showed remarkable insight, orienting plazas and pyramids to harness celestial rhythms. This unity of architecture and astronomy signals a society striving to understand its place in the universe, forever keeping one eye fixed firmly on the heavens above. Standing amidst Carroll's grandeur, it's impossible not to reflect on the age of these ruins. The city predates many of history's most celebrated sites, yet rivals them in majesty. One is reminded that great civilizations can rise in unexpected places, shaping history's course in silence. Carroll's stones hold not just stories of survival, but of optimism, ingenuity, and the relentless drive to build something enduring for generations to come. The wind still moves through Carroll's plazas, stirring up sands that once traced young footsteps. In this hush, ancient dreams seem to flicker to life the aspirations of those who once called this place home. Their voices are faint, but their achievements ring clear in the stonework all around. What remains is proof that people long ago built lasting wonders through unity, vision, and hope, etched into every cornerstone of their lost city. Vision and hope etched into every cornerstone of their lost city. Beneath the surface, archaeological discoveries hint at more layers to Carroll's story. Researchers have found intricate textiles, remnants of musical instruments, and enigmatic quipu, string silent witnesses to vanished languages and customs. Each find deepens our understanding of how advanced this civilization truly was. In these small details, we glimpse a thriving society whose knowledge and creativity still ripple through the centuries, waiting to be uncovered anew. Today, digital reconstructions and artist renderings help us imagine Carroll's original splendour. Through these windows into the past, the city comes alive, its plazas swelling with people and its pyramids gleaming under the midday sun. As we retrace ancient paths mingling memory with imagination, the city that changed history opens itself to us, revealing how much it can still teach about the timeless human pursuit of community and meaning. To wander Carroll in the present is to see how time has transformed grandeur into mystery. Wind-worn stones and wild grasses cover the blueprint of an incredible city, their quiet presence echoing with reminders of old ambitions. We are left to wonder how people, so long ago, summoned the creativity and courage to build a city that would endure even after memory faded. Carroll's legacy endures in these silent, evocative ruins. The city of Carroll challenges us to reconsider what we know about civilization's origins. Its pyramids, plazas, and avenues stand as beacons of ingenuity and foresight, proof that great achievements arose long before written histories began. To study Carroll is to witness a chapter of humanity once almost forgotten, but now illuminated again. Each rediscovered stone brings us closer to understanding the boundless capacities of the human spirit and imagination. As our journey through Carroll comes to a close, the city lingers in Memoria Place, shaped by hands long vanished, but never truly lost. Its story is one of vision, cooperation, and enduring wonder, shedding light on the foundations of civilization itself. The lessons of Carroll remind us that history is always waiting to surprise us, revealing old truths anew when we listen closely to the silent stones of forgotten worlds. Chapter 5. The Pulse of Civilization. As the first light of dawn spilled over the sand-strewn plazas of Carroll, the city awoke in a gentle rhythm. Here, in the heart of one of the world's earliest civilizations, life pulsed with a quiet energy. Each morning brought together people from winding stone streets and sun-drenched courtyards, weaving a tapestry of daily ritual and shared moments that defined this ancient city's vibrant spirit. Communal rituals shaped the heartbeat of Carroll. Families gathered around open spaces at twilight, their laughter mingling with the soft whistles of flutes carved from pelican bones. Children chased one another between woven reed baskets, while elders sat beside simple fires, sharing stories. These gatherings bound the community, connecting generations and reinforcing the invisible threads that held the people of Carroll together, creating a sense of belonging that echoed through every stone. Archaeologists have pieced together remnants of these vibrant gatherings. Among their discoveries, carefully preserved in the earth, are musical instruments, flutes, and panpipes that once filled the air with song. The oldest melodies known to have drifted over South America may have been born here, as the gentle notes of music helped mark festivals, ceremonies, and the slow turning of the seasons for Carroll's people long ago. Beyond music, woven baskets uncovered in Carroll's ruins provide clues about daily life. Each basket, crafted with patience and artistry, was more than just a functional object told a story. Perhaps it carried freshly harvested cotton or maize, or perhaps it was filled with dried fish from the distant coast. In their hands, the simple act of weaving became an unspoken language, connecting people to their work and to one another. The city itself was alive with movement. In the cool shadows of early morning, artisans gathered in clusters, shaping stone tools or smoothing clay into vessels. Farmers prepared their plots near the riverbanks, guided by ancient methods passed down through countless generations. The soft echo of sandals on dust carried the promise of another day spent building, tending, and nurturing the unique community that called Carroll home. When evening descended over Carroll, the city glowed in the golden light of countless fires. People retreated to public plazas or intimate circles outside their adobe homes, sharing food and warmth. The rituals of the night connected everyone in a web of shared experience, from the youngest child to the eldest sage. In this space, laughter, stories, and even small acts of kindness rippled outward, shaping the soul of an entire civilization. Artifacts reveal a society deeply connected to its environment. Reed mats, worn smooth from years of use, hint at moments spent resting in cool shade, or joining together to work and play. Fragments of decorated pottery suggest celebrations, perhaps of harvests or milestones. Every artifact is a piece of lost time, capturing the ordinary joys and struggles that made up the heartbeat of Carroll's ancient inhabitants. The flutes unearthed at Carroll had been expertly crafted, their fingerholes smoothed by countless songs. Archaeologists believe their music likely accompanied not only celebrations but also sacred ceremonies. Imagine standing in a plaza as soft, haunting melodies drifted skyward, helping the people connect with unseen force, earth, sky, water, and the spirit of their ancestors, woven together in sound and silence. Baskets, so delicately woven, were essential tools for carrying food, goods, and even messages between neighbourhoods. Some were dyed with natural colours, perhaps each hue symbolising a family or trade. To create these baskets demanded both skill and patience, passed from mothers to daughters and fathers to sons. Through them, the identity and ingenuity of Carroll were woven, strand by strand, into everyday life. Music played a unique role in shaping Carroll's atmosphere. It marked important events and soothed the people at dusk, fostering unity and reflection. As the city fell quiet, gentle tunes lingered in the air, giving comfort and a sense of continuity, a bridge between generations. Even without written language, these melodies remained a living recordone that still whispers of Carroll's spirit more than 4,000 years later. Children grew up amidst these rhythms, their days filled with discovery and play. They helped gather reeds and shells, learning traditional skills from observing their elders. At the centre of Carroll, childhood was a time not only for joy, but also for participating in the communal fabric. The lessons they learned about cooperation, resilience, and craft would one day be passed down, ensuring the continuity of Carroll's knowledge and customs. In Carroll, daily life was in constant motion. Women moved between homes and fields, tending small gardens or spinning cotton into thread. Men fished along the riverbanks or repaired stone walls, their hands guided by experience. Neighbours worked together, sharing in both the toil and the pleasures of existence. Every action, no matter how small, became a testament to the powerful sense of community binding Carroll's people. Sometimes the city gathered for grand communal ceremonies. Drums and flutes echoed through vast plazas, while dancers traced ancient patterns on sun-baked earth. Rituals here were not only about faith, but also about celebration, giving thanks for the bounty of the land or asking for protection from unseen dangers. These shared moments forged connections that lasted for generations, carved deep into Carroll's enduring memory. Archaeological digs have uncovered intricate jewellery made from shells and stones, suggesting that personal adornment held significance. Perhaps each ornament marked a rite of passage, or reflected an individual's role within the community. Through these small treasures, the continuity of life at Carroll becomes Rewrote, where identity, beauty and tradition blended to shape the experience of every inhabitant. Fireside gatherings were a nightly tradition in Carroll. Friends and family would share simple meals, roasted roots, fresh fish, maize, and recount the day's events beneath a star-dappled sky. Laughter and wisdom mingled as stories travelled from one generation to the next. In these quiet moments, the bonds that held Carroll's community together found their deepest roots, giving strength to the city even as time flowed steadily onward. The city's plazas functioned as the collective heart of Carroll. Here, elders guided discussions and resolved disputes. Children watched as lessons unfolded in real time, learning the importance of patience and compromise. In the openness of these shared spaces, everyone had a role, each voice could be heard, each soul woven into the communal tapestry, ensuring the city's pulse stayed strong through joy and hardship alike. Tools and utensils uncovered in Carroll illustrate a society rooted in innovation. Simple, yet effective, these artifacts enabled people to grind grain, weave cloth, or build sturdy homes. With each tool, generations of knowledge found physical form. Their hands shaped stone and wood not only to survive, but to flourish, expressing creativity, adaptability, and hope for the future, values echoing across the centuries to our own. Despite the city's size, there was no clear sign of violence or warfare. The people of Carroll seemed to thrive through cooperation rather than conflict. The city's layouts, communal plazas and public works reflects this spirit of unity. Carroll's story stands as a quiet testament to the possibility of harmony, an idea born in the desert thousands of years ago, carried forward through respectful coexistence and shared purpose. At times, music and chanting signalled transitions. The end of one growing season, or the beginning of another. Such rituals highlighted the rhythms of nature itself. In celebrating the cycles of the sun, moon and river, Carroll's inhabitants connected their daily lives to the eternal flows of the earth. In doing so, they embraced both change and continuity, honouring the delicate balance that sustained their city's lifeblood. Woven sandals, left behind in the dust, reveal the traces of thousands of daily journeys. Each pair bears the imprint of its owners, steppes farmers, artisans and children treading familiar pathways. These small, everyday things are windows into lost worlds. They allow us to glimpse the routines and rituals that animated Carroll and understand how a civilization, rooted in simple acts, could thrive for centuries. Food, too, spoke of Carroll's resourcefulness. Baskets held beans, squash and maize grown in riverside gardens, while dried fish and shellfish arrived from the distant coast. Mealtime became an act of celebration, a reminder of abundance, luck, and the intricate partnerships required to sustain the city's population. Through care and cooperation, the people of Carroll transformed the best of their land into flourishing life. In the silence that now fills Carroll's abandoned plazas, faint echoes of the past remain astray. Note from a lost flute, the warmth of firelight, the murmur of voices gathered at dusk. These sensory fragments remind us that beneath the ruins lived vibrant, hopeful people. Their joys, fears and dreams are preserved in the earth, awaiting those who will listen and remember what once was alive and bright. Slowing our pace, we can almost sense the humanity behind every artifact. Each flint blade, slender flute and woven basket tells a wordless story, the story of ordinary people shaping the extraordinary moment by moment. Through their hands and hearts, Carroll was more than stone and dust. It was a living city, echoing with laughter, song and the gentle warmth of community that still speaks across time. As we leave Carroll behind for now, remember this city not just for its monuments, but for its pulse, for the lively, communal spirit that animated every sunrise and soothed every night. In grieving what has faded, we discover gratitude for what was created. Through artifacts and stories, Corral's people live on, inviting us to walk their plazas, hear their music, and glimpse the ancient energy that shaped the world forever. Chapter 6. The Web of Trade and Wisdom. In the heart of ancient Peru, Carol thrived as more than just a city. It became the centre of a vast network where distant peoples met. Picture caravans winding through valleys, laden with vibrant goods, their traders welcomed inside Carol's bustling plazas. Here, languages mingled and new ideas took root. This was a meeting ground shaped by curiosity and commerce, weaving together stories from far and wide. Along windswept coastlines and fertile river valleys, Carol's reputation as a bustling crossroads grew. Traders braved the desert's endless sands, their burdens heavy with cotton, fish, exotic shells, and rare stones. In return, they found musical instruments, crafted baskets, and knowledge exchanged as gifts. The people of Carol welcomed strangers as friends, drawn together by the promise of shared prosperity and learning. Each arrival carried whispers from distant lands and fresh possibilities. Every caravan brought the pulse of far-off cultures into Carol's daily life. Imagine the rich scent of foreign spices mingling with local incense, as carefully balanced scales weighed treasures from both sea and mountain. Merchants negotiated and storytellers entertained, exchanging news and amusements alongside rare goods. With each encounter, the city's understanding of the world widened, its society adapting to embrace fresh concepts and inspiring inventions that left lasting marks on generations. In Carol, trade was not only about objects, but about ideas. Scholars exchanged thoughts along with woven cloth and carved tools. Philosophies were traded as eagerly as prized feathers or beads. Notes on agriculture, architecture and music travelled along with the caravans, blending wisdom from every corner into Carol's culture. The city became a library without walls, a living archive, where old truths could be challenged and new discoveries welcomed with excitement. Some evenings, as dusk painted the plaza gold, circles of traders and townsfolk would gather, their conversations humming with possibility. Around crackling fires, experiences were swapped and techniques revealed. A fisherman from distant shores might teach weaving patterns to a local artisan, while a farmer shared secrets of river irrigation. These nightly exchanges sparked subtle revolutions in craft and knowledge, making Corral a wellspring of innovation among neighbouring peoples. At the heart of Carol's success stood its openness of willingness to learn, adapt, and share. This spirit of cooperation spread far beyond the city walls, carried by traders to every community they visited. When they returned, they brought not only rare treasures, but stories of distant kin and new possibilities. The city prospered by remaining connected, its bonds with others growing stronger with each passing year, weaving a resilient web of relationships across the landscape. Archaeological discoveries reveal traces of Carol's far-reaching influence: foreign shells, unearthed from the sands, stone figurines shaped by distant hands, and musical flutes echoing unknown melodies. These artifacts testify to the journeys of people and ideas. The arrival of once foreign objects prompted Carol's own makers to experiment and innovate, merging outside inspiration with local tradition. In every home, the world seemed a little wider, the city a little richer for each exchange. The people of Carol never considered themselves isolated. Instead, they saw the rivers as highways linking them to other imaginations and ambitions. They understood the wisdom of connection, that prosperity and growth came not only from what they made, but from what they learned and shared. Connections to highland societies and bands along the coast ensured a steady current of goods, news and alliances, reinforcing Carol's importance as a centre of innovation and exchange. Each time a new trader entered Carol, the city welcomed them with open arms. The plazas would buzz with anticipation what stories would arrive this time. Sometimes it was a novel crop or a new method for making textiles. Other times, an unfamiliar instrument or distant legend. These encounters did not just supply comforts, but gave Carol's people a sense of participating in something larger, their horizons constantly expanding with each connection. This continual mixing of people and goods transformed Carroll into a lively mosaic of cultures. Children played games learned from travellers, and artisans added unfamiliar motifs to their works. The city's cuisine blended local produce with imported flavours, creating meals that told tales of journey and arrival. Through rituals and festivals, the influence of distant traditions could be heard in the music, seen in costumes, felt in the rhythms of daily life, witness to an ever-changing tapestry. The web Carroll spun was not limited to material wealth. It extended to beliefs and traditions, subtly influencing religious practices and worldviews. Priests might incorporate a song or symbol brought by a visitor, while legends of other lands became woven into Carroll's own mythology. This dynamic process spurred a creative energy, a city forever curious, ready to challenge old preconceptions and eager to adapt promising ideas, shaping a culture as fluid as the rivers that bound it to the world. Historians once thought ancient cities lived in deep isolation, walled off by distance and terrain. Carroll shatters that narrative. The evidence speaks clearly. This was a community built on exchange, not exclusion. Baskets from far-off valleys, stones from unseen mountains, each testament to vibrant contact. Even the city's monumental architecture reflects a knowledge of techniques that had crossed many hands, shaped by collective understanding rather than solitary genius. Consider the city's layout. Plazas designed for gatherings, roads that naturally extend outward toward distant neighbours, and storerooms full of foreign wares. Carroll's very foundations were set with anticipation of visitors and movement. Its leaders understood that security came not only from walls, but from relationship saliences, sealed with gifts and cooperation. In welcoming the unfamiliar, Carroll found its own distinct resilience, thriving through times of abundance and hardship alike. Goods travelled over astonishing distances, each journey building trust between communities. And with every successful exchange, reputations grew. Carroll was known as a fair trading partner, a place where promises given were honoured, and disputes settled with reason. This reputation was as valuable as any treasure, ensuring continued flow of visitors eager for honest dealings and mutual respect. Over time, these ties became as enduring as the city's ancient stones. Along Carroll's rivers, boats ferried both cargo and kin. Sometimes, a trader's journey lasted many weeks, facing obstacles of weather and shifting tides. Yet the rewards were worth it, friendships forged in faraway villages, new songs echoing across the waters, and alliances formed beyond the horizon. Shared hardships and discoveries knit peoples together, so that even as they bargained, they built bridges of trust that outlasted the deals exchanged on sun-warmed banks. The leaders of Carroll knew well the power of reputation in trade. By upholding fairness and hospitality, they secured the loyalty of both locals and outsiders. Special days were set aside for great festivals, when everyone, farmer or merchant, local or stranger, could come together in celebration. These gatherings not only strengthened bonds, but became showcases for Carroll's cultural ritual dances, shared meals, and contests of skill, reminding all present that in unity and exchange, greatness grew. Sometimes, trade brought challenges too. Not all visitors arrived with peaceful intentions. In uncertain times, Carroll's leaders relied upon diplomacy and wisdom, blending wariness with warmth. Disputes might arise, but channels of communication remained open, and in many cases, rivalries turned into new alliances over time. The ability to negotiate, persuade, and find common ground proved as valuable to Carroll's survival as its celebrated innovations or intricate crafts. Innovation, nurtured by exchange, was evident everywhere, from irrigation canals inspired by distant lands to musical instruments that blended local and foreign resonance. These creations were symbols of possibility, made real by cooperation. Even Carroll's sacred spaces reflected influences from beyond, as architects learned from visiting builders and spiritual leaders exchanged rituals with travelling priests. The city's traditions, far from static, were shaped and refreshed by the constant ebb and flow of cultures. One can imagine a young Carroll artisan, eyes wide as they examined beads unknown in their home valley, or a musician listening in awe to a new melody. Such moments of wonder, sparked by encounters with worlds beyond, fueled ambition and desire to improve. Each generation drew inspiration from what arrived at Carroll's gates, building upon it. In this way, the city's ingenuity became self-renewing, carried forward like a treasured gift from one trader's caravan to the next. Trade routes from Carroll resembled lifelines stretching toward the unknown. They were more than simple paths. They were invitations, asking others to join in creation and progress. Strangers became familiar faces, and distant places became names in everyday conversation. The people of Carroll began to see themselves as part of a larger world, responsible as much for connection as for crafting beauty or feeding their families. This sense of belonging fostered empathy and insight as it flourished. As centuries passed, Carroll's influence continued embedding traditions, motifs, and practical knowledge across the land. Its gifts were not only those that could be held or traded, but also ways of thinking openness, curiosity, and creativity. Even after the city's heyday faded, its legacy endured wherever people gathered to share, barter, and tell stories. The spirit of Carroll, woven from 1,000 exchanges, lived on in communities it had touched. Today, when archaeologists gently uncover evidence from Carroll, they find a record of a world surprisingly interconnected. The lost city stands as a quiet challenge to our old assumptions, reminding us that the roots of civilization thrive best when nurtured by exchange and imagination. Far from isolated, Carroll's people chose connection at every opportunity, adding their voices to an ancient, ongoing conversation that shaped their world, and now helps us reimagine our own. The story of Carroll's Web teaches us that greatness does not grow from solitude, but thrives when people reach out across barriers. Each stone, each artifact, each forgotten melody echoes a commitment to understanding and sharing. As we reflect on their legacy, we are invited to consider how the ties we forge today through curiosity and generosity could create futures as luminous as the dawn, lit plazas of Carroll so many millennia ago. In the end, Carroll endures as a symbol, a city that prospered not by turning inward, but by looking outward, transforming encounters into opportunities, and exchanges into lasting wisdom. As we journey through this ancient landscape, we are reminded that civilization is not simply a matter of stones and monuments, but of connections made and the possibilities born each time distant voices dare to meet in peace. Chapter 7. Secrets in the Silence. Even as centuries drift through Carroll's deserted plazas, there is so much we can only guess at. What stories lay hidden within stone and sand? The city seems to whisper, but not speak. No tablets, no carvings, no scripts have been uncovered here, leaving scholars to puzzle over the silence. Tonight we listen together, searching for clues in what is not said, but simply felt. We begin with the puzzle of Carroll's writing, or, more hauntingly, the absence of any. Unlike Egypt or Sumer, there is no evidence of a written language emerging here. Instead, the record remains blank, except for cryptic knots of quipu and mysterious symbols. Why did this city, so advanced for its time, thrive without inscriptions to mark its history? The question lingers, echoing through every empty plaza and eroded wall. Carroll's plazas and temples were undoubtedly centres of communal gathering, but much remains unknown about their rituals. In the heart of those structures, researchers discovered ancient fire pits of old, and oddly placed, surrounded by ashes and shards. Their purpose is still debated. Were they altars or hearths, used for ceremonies, feasts, or sacrifices? Every piece unearthed sparks new questions, deepening Carroll's enigmatic allure. Consider for a moment the silent architects of Carroll. Why did they build amphitheatres when no script reveals their stories? The structure speaks with its curves and stone benches, rising out of the ground as though inviting an audience. But what music, what words, what performances ever graced these spaces? Their function is shrouded, the echoes of ancient voices swallowed by the winds of the past. The city's design choices defy simple answers. Some buildings are perfectly aligned to the sun, marking the solstice with remarkable precision. Others appear randomly placed, ignoring celestial patterns. What guided these decisions? Was it practical, spiritual, or simply artistic? Archaeologists pore over foundations and rubble, their minds racing to fit together a puzzle with missing pieces. Carroll guards its secrets with stubborn silence. Among the artefacts, some symbols appear again and again etched onto river stones, woven into mats or pressed in clay. Swirls, zigzags, and abstract motifs hint at meaning just out of reach. Are they decorative, ritualistic, or records of forgotten legends? The absence of a Rosetta Stone for Carroll leaves researchers guessing. Each symbol is an invitation. Interpret me, if you can. The enigma deepens with every discovery. Occasionally, quipus are found strings knotted in carefully arranged patterns. In other Andean cultures, quipus recorded numbers, stories, and tribute. But at Corral, do these knots convey information, or were they simply ceremonial offerings? The true meaning lies tangled within the cord, frustrating researchers hoping for a key to unlock Corral's hidden language. The city keeps its silence, even as fingertips brush its fragile threads. Fire pits, too, carry mysteries. Some contain exotic plant remains, imported from distant valleys. What purpose did they serve so far from home? Did these fires mark a special festival, or the arrival of guests from afar? Their contents suggest feasts or rituals, binding people through shared experience and memory. Yet without words to explain, these gatherings remain hazy shadows flickering against walls that have outlasted every story told within them. As dusk settles over Carroll's ruins, the city feels poised between revelation and secrecy. Something about its scale and silence compels researchers to return, year after year. New digs reveal more fire pits, more ritualistic structures, more hints at a sophisticated culture. But each new clue only multiplies the questions. Did Carroll have a priesthood? Did it worship the sun or the river? The answers drift just out of reach. Some hypothesize that Carroll's lack of writing was intentional. Perhaps oral traditions, music, and memory were so rich, script simply wasn't needed. In such a society, knowledge would be passed from person to person, woven like the mats found in its dwellings. Are we seeking something that was never there? Or is the deeper truth still buried beneath the desert sand? The possibilities stir the imagination, keeping Carroll's legend alive. Symbols on ceramics offer tantalizing hints: a pair of eyes, a stylized wave, a maze. But what do they represent? Gods, ancestors, seasons, or stories untold? While archaeologists catalogue each fragment, piecing together potential meanings, the answers remain elusive. What if these images walked a bridge between worlds, meant to be understood by both humans and spirits? In the hush of twilight, the city seems almost to breathe out riddles. At Carroll, the mystery extends to its soundscape. Some amphitheatres are perfectly shaped for acoustics, capable of carrying a whispered word across the plaza. Why was this so important to the city's makers? What kinds of music or speeches once echoed here? Lacking written scores or lyrics, these spaces evoke rituals beyond our grasp. Their architecture calls out to the imagination, hinting at events that shaped people's beliefs and identities. No graves of kings or queens have been found in Corral, no obvious rulers, no ostentatious tombs. Was leadership collective or hidden from view? Do we search in the wrong places, expecting the familiar in a world that operated by different rules? The absence of typical markers of power raises deeper questions. Who led these people? How did they rule? Corral keeps its answers well guarded, behind walls of clay and centuries. Architectural mysteries linger around Corral's great platform mounds. Some say they served as stages for public rituals. Others believe they were simply foundations for homes or granaries. Their true function remains uncertain. Were they sites of celebration or control? Scholars debate every angle, tracing patterns in the stones and the earth, hoping to read a language written not in words but in shapes and shadows. In the silence, some scholars see a message, that Carroll, despite lacking writing, was a listening culture society, where stories, warnings, and wisdom passed from one mouth to the next, always alive, always changing. What traditions sustained them through drought, flood and time? The evidence is quiet but persistent, leaving us to imagine elders speaking softly as stars rose above the desert, their words lost but never forgotten. The absence of warlike defences at Carroll only deepens the riddle. No fortress walls, no weapons caches, no battlements. Did its people find peace through diplomacy and trade, or is their true story hidden, erased by time itself? Researchers marvel at the possibility of a society thriving on cooperation rather than conquest, but without texts to confirm, it's a theory drifting in the desert windone, more secret in the silence. Late-night debates among archaeologists often swirl around Carroll's layout. Paths, plazas and temples align in ways we do not fully understand. Did these spatial arrangements encode information our kind of architecture as language? If so, we are only beginning to decipher its alphabet. Each newly excavated wall holds potential, like an unopened book. The city, patient and enigmatic, waits for us to listen rather than simply look. Carroll's mysteries are not only academic, they touch something elemental in those who explore them. Visitors report a quiet wonder, sensing the intangible weight of unspoken history. Did the people of Carroll feel this same awe, moving through moonlit plazas under vast Andean skies? The absence of written legacy makes their presence ghostly, but persistent as if the city itself remembers, even when the world has forgotten its name. In a world obsessed with records and information, Carroll stands apart as society that left no lists, no poems, no official decrees set in stone. Instead, it offers puzzle pieces and silences, trusting us to listen deeply. Why did they stay silent? Was it a matter of style, of secrecy, or survival? As researchers debate, the city's answer remains gentle, like a breeze stirring ancient sand. Some stories are taught through silence, not script. The discoveries at Carroll often provoke more questions than answers. Why are some ceremonial spaces large enough for hundreds, yet others intimate and hidden from public view? Were there secret rites, known only to a chosen few? The contrast between public grandeur and private mystery invites speculation. Carroll's silence compels researchers to imagine what were shielded rituals, beliefs or knowledge too precious to record outside living memory. In the glow of dawn, Carroll's ruins feel alive with potential meaning. As researchers walk its broad plazas, picking through fragments of tools and pottery, every shard is a clue, wordless testament to an ingenious, unknowable people. Will the next season's excavation bring revelation, or only deepen the puzzle? The city's silence invites patience, curiosity, and respect for the unknown, a reminder that history is as much about mystery as discovery. Why did Carroll's people choose these enigmatic paths that confound and inspire us centuries later? Their choices, what to build, what to hide, what to remember, reflect a civilization driven by values and ideas we only sense in fragments. As the sun sets behind its mounds, Carroll becomes less a relic and more a living question, its silence resonating with every new seeker searching for meaning amid the stones. Perhaps Carroll's greatest secret is its endurance. For millennia, it has survived without monuments carved in words, existing instead through its mysterious influence on later cultures. As we search for answers in cryptic symbols, unfinished walls, and quiet plazas, we are reminded that not all legacies are written down. Some endure through the persistence of questions left behind, unfinished, unresolved, yet endlessly compelling. In closing, Carroll's silence is not emptiness, but invitation and urging to listen harder, look closer, wonder deeper. Its unsolved riddles connect us across time, binding our curiosity to theirs. As the night settles on the desert, the city seems to whisper its final, wordless lesson, that history is sometimes best preserved not in what has been said, but in the mysteries that remain, eternally awake, beneath the quiet stars. Chapter 8. Winds of Ruin and Change. In the waning days of Carroll, faint breezes whisper through empty plazas once alive with music and voices. Time begins to steal colour and warmth from the city's stone, as a subtle melancholy settles like dust. As the sun sinks lower, the stillness grows, foreshadowing the end of Carroll's greatness. The ancient heart of civilization prepares to face new, unforgiving winds. Drought arrives slowly, first as a whisper, then a harsh decree. Rivers that once overflowed with life shrink and vanish, their loss echoing in the silenced irrigation canals crisscrossing Carroll's fields. Crops wither. The land that sustained thousands begins to turn barren and brittle, unable to offer it sustenance. The city, once resilient, now senses its fragility. Every household feels the strain as nature's balance tips away. Every household feels the strain as nature's balance tips away. Trade winds shift beyond the coast, rerouting distant markets and lifelines. The precious goods spondylus shells, fish and cotton no longer reach corral in their former abundance. Neighbouring communities adapt, seeking fortune elsewhere. Corral's plazas, once vibrant with barter and ceremony, grow quieter each passing year. The pulse of commerce slows, collective uncertainty and sorrow settle among the ruins, marking a profound turn in the city's fate. Buildings that had stood proud for centuries begin to crumble at the edges. The great temple's steps, worn smooth by generations, are soon covered in wind-blown sand. Carroll's artisans and builders, once in high demand, now find their skills fading into memory. Children hear stories of better times, yet their laughter is tinged with questions about the future. The city's decline is gentle and unbearably silent. The river, once sacred and life-giving, shrinks to little more than a winding scar through the valley. Trees and vegetation retreat further each season. Rain, so eagerly awaited, arrives rarely and often disappoints. Every family feels the heartbreak, once vast fields reduced to dust, market stalls left bare, homes built with hope succumbing to erosion. The patience of Carroll's people is worn thin by the steady, unyielding weight of nature's change. As water grows scarce, tensions rise among neighbours. Simple disagreements over farmland or storage can ripple into conflict. Long-standing alliances weaken. The people of Carroll, who once shared in communal feasts and festivals, become more isolated. There is a longing for restoration, yet the city's golden age remains just out of reach. In this slow unravelling, hope persists, but it flickers faintly, like twilight on ancient stone. Nature, indifferent and patient, reclaims Carroll bit by bit. Creeping plants wind their way through broken walls. Sand drifts into doorways where families once gathered each evening. The call of distant birds replaces the music of flutes and drums. Still, elders try to recount the city's splendour, sharing memories that echo off ruined plazas. The city slips further into silence, its fate sealed by changes beyond its control. With each season, more families depart in search of a kinder home. Paths once trodden by thousands become faint traces across the landscape. Marketplace stones are cold and forgotten under the sun. Occasionally, a lonely traveller passes through, pausing to rest on toppled steps, listening for echoes of laughter that once filled the city. Carroll is not abandoned in anger or violence, but in quiet resignation and unwavering grief. Centuries pass after the city's abandonment. Sand and wind wear away what people left behind. Gradually, mounds of stone become hidden beneath layers of earth temples merging with hills. Rain softens what the sun has scorched, blending Carroll's shapes into the natural world. The city becomes a secret, remembered only in the stories carried by distant descendants, lost yet waiting to be found again by curious eyes. Despite its decline, Carroll's legacy lingers in the land. A particular stillness settles over the valley, heavy with history and longing. Occasionally, remnants of ancient walls or forgotten staircases catch the evening light, hinting at a world that once thrived here. Animals cross the same paths where people once marched in celebration. The echoes of music and laughter endure, woven into the wind sighing through the silent temple halls. Spring returns in fits and starts, sometimes coaxing wildflowers from hard ground. Grasses sprout where bustling streets once lay. Nature, never hurried, gently smooths the scars of civilization. Every stone toppled from Carol's temples is claimed by moss and root. The city's rebirth is different, and of silence and subtle beauty. Nothing is erased entirely. Instead, memory and landscape merge, holding on to the dreams and losses of a vanished people. Birds nest in the crevices of broken walls. Rainwater pools beside ancient altars. Sometimes, moonlight reveals the outline of a forgotten plaza. In these moments, Carol feels almost alive, again suspended between memory and myth. The winds sing the city's song, soft but insistent. For a fleeting time, it is possible to imagine families gathering beneath the stars, telling stories of old kings and distant lands, their spirits woven into the land. As decades become centuries, knowledge of Carol fades from living memory. The world beyond the valley forges ahead, unaware of what has been lost. New powers rise and fall elsewhere, as the desert guards its secret. Occasionally, travellers catch sight of strange formations in the sands and wonder what lies beneath. Carol's story drifts with the wind, pieced together by fragments, longing for someone to listen again. Rain falls after a long drought, and the sound alone stirs the spirits of history. Water trickles through abandoned channels, awakening seeds hidden in the earth. For a moment, green returns to Carol, a brief echo of the life that once filled these fields. The voice of the river, though changed, remembers its ancient promise. In these rare awakenings, the city whispers its presence to the sky and the curious wandering nearby. In the solitude of Carol, time steadily erases the marks of human hands. Pathways become blurred, boundaries lost, but memory resists etched in fragments of pottery or buried carvings. On rare nights when the stars are clear, it seems as if the city breathes. Those who come across these ruins sense a weight of stories, of dreams unfulfilled. In this heavy silence, the city's soul endures, seeking to be understood once more. The winds that once brought trade and prosperity now sweep only dust across the monuments. At dusk, their mournful sound lingers over empty courtyards. The temple's shadow stretches long, brushing across forgotten gathering places. Each gust carries whispers of celebration and sorrow. Corral, though silent, is not lost entirely. In the listening, patient heart, the city's song remains, soft, aching, persistent as the wind that shapes the desert sands. The people who were Carol's heartbeat are gone, yet their story rests beneath every vine and shifting dune. Their laughter, their fears, and their rituals are preserved in the imagination. The city is a lesson in resilience, but also humility before nature's power. Observers now see not only grandeur and ruins, but the fragile thread upon which all human stories are spun. Carol teaches even in absence a reminder of what time always claims. Season after season, storm after storm, Carol dissolves further into the Peruvian landscape. Wild animals graze where markets once thrived, and flute-shaped breezes slide through crumbled architecture. In the hush, a kind of peace settles, a surrender. It takes a gentle heart to sense the city's presency and understanding that even in disappearance, significance endures. The legacy is not erased, but transformed, written in the silence beneath the sun. From a distance, the mounds of Carol might appear as ordinary hill-sun remarkable against the stark valley. Yet a careful observer notices the right angles, the terraces, hints of a lost design under the dust. Here, the past and present blur, stones placed by ancient hands still anchor the earth. The city is patient, allowing itself to be discovered and forgotten in equal measure, offering its mysteries only to those who truly look. Centuries of solitude shape Carol into myth. Local legends speak of a city hidden by the gods, or spirits protecting ancient wisdom. Children press their fingers into cracked stone, imagining what lives once filled these spaces. Storytellers keep Carol alive with every retelling, even if the names and faces are lost. The city thrives now in imagination, transcending its ruins, shaping the dreams of each generation that stumbles upon its traces. As time winds forward, the outside world finally begins to wonder about the mounds in the desert. Archaeologists arrive, drawn by the whispers of the past. They brush away centuries of dust and reveal the marvel of Carroll's construction, the scale, the symmetry, the ingenuity. Excitement and reverence blend as each discovery reignites the city's dormant story, giving voice to the people who built a civilization before memory could record it. Even in rediscovery, the loss remains palpable. Every artifact unearthed is a testament to beauty and impermanence, a fragment from a vanished life. The wind, which once heralded change, now witnesses the city's second awakening. Instead of celebration, there is quiet, aware humility at what has been hidden, lost, and found again. Carroll's silence, preserved for countless generations, becomes an invitation to reflect on change, resilience, and memory. Carroll's rediscovery rewrites the history of civilization, but the city's spirit endures unchanged. The stones remember their warmth under the sun, their patience beneath the stars. In the hush of dusk, ruins claim neither victory nor defeat, but simply persist. Carroll teaches us to listen, for what is lost can still return, in memory, story, or the soft returning footfall of those eager to understand a world long past. In the end, Corral belongs to both history and the wind. It is a city shaped by loss, yet sustained by remembrance. Though time may claim all monuments, it cannot claim the wonder inspired in those who find these ruins. As the sun sets one final time over Corral, its story ripples out with a whisper on the breeze, carrying lessons of endurance, humility, and the eternal dance between humanity and the natural world. Chapter 9. Rediscovery and Revelation. In the dusty valleys of Peru, a team of modern archaeologists meticulously sifts through centuries, piecing together the silent stones of Corral. Their work is tireless. Each artifact brushed free from sand and time whispers secrets that had been buried for millennia. What once seemed unknowable now begins to take shape, and Corral's lost world slowly returns to the present. Through their eyes, history breathes once again. The discoveries at Carroll stir waves of wonder and disbelief among experts. Potsherds patterned with strange symbols, intricate reed baskets, and impossibly ancient pyramids emerge from the Earth's grasp, evidence that demands a second look at all we thought we knew. Scholars gather, debating and marvelling as timelines bend and old certainties fracture. Carroll, once a distant whisper, now claims a vivid voice in the story of civilization. Each new find is a clue, a puzzle piece fitting with unexpected clarity and elegance into the evolving picture of humanity's earliest cities. The team documents their progress, notes trembling with anticipation, cameras capturing the soft glow of sunrise over ancient stones. Carroll's story is not just about old monuments, it's about the rediscovery of ideas, dreams and achievements, once lost in time, pushing the boundaries of what we believe about the past. Revelation comes quietly at first, a carefully carbon-dated remnant here, a radiantly preserved mural there. Yet, as evidence mounts, excitement rises. Ancient Carroll is far older than anyone dared to imagine. It predates pyramids and written histories, its existence rewriting pages in our textbooks and minds. The archaeologists, humbled by this vast timeline, begin to understand that human ingenuity wore many faces, long before the old empires we thought we knew. News of Carroll's age spreads beyond academic circles. Media outlets report breathlessly on this lost city that challenges everything. Students and teachers alike pore over new maps and timelines, tracing the rearranged lines of civilization's birth. Carroll becomes a symbol, not just of a city, but of how much remains hidden beneath the surface, waiting for eyes willing to see beyond the familiar. The world begins to listen and to wonder. Within laboratories and lecture halls, debates ignite. Archaeologists argue over dating methods and cultural influences, but the facts are undeniable. Stone platforms, amphitheatres and grand plazas evidence of complex society and visionary planning were built when much of the world was only just mastering simple tools. Textbooks are revised, timelines stretched and assumptions challenged. Carroll's architects become legends in the story we thought we knew. As records are rewritten, the nature of discovery itself takes centre stage. The research team, a tapestry of backgrounds and expertise, demonstrates how collective curiosity fuels revelation. Their meticulous work layer by layer, note by note, reminds us that history is a living thing, constantly reshaped by those who dare to question and explore. Their excitement is contagious, carrying the story of Carol into classrooms and homes across continents. Standing among the ancient ruins, a lead archaeologist reflects on humility. The more they uncover, the more wondrous and mysterious the distant past becomes. Carol's people, once dismissed as primitive, are now seen as visionaries, masters of their landscape and their time. The archaeologist's own place in the story seems small, a brief spark in a vast timeline illuminated by the enduring glow of curiosity and discovery. The wonder of Carol's rediscovery is not just about age or architecture, it's about the drama of surprise. Centuries after its silence fell, Carol speaks with clarity through its sun-baked mud bricks and carefully planned plazas. The dig reveals new questions with every answer, reminding everyone that history is not a locked vault, but a vast open plain alluring for those who seek its secrets with patience and respect. In moments of quiet, the archaeologists find themselves gazing across the ancient cities, remains as twilight settles on the horizon. They contemplate what daily life must have been like for those early builders, what songs echoed, what fires burned, and what dreams carried their community into legend. These silent reflections bind the present to the distant past, nourishing a sense of kinship across the centuries. As Carol's mysteries unravel, the wider world begins to see human history as a vast tapestry interwoven with countless lost threads. The archaeologist's findings rekindle a long-standing truth: greatness is not confined to famous empires alone. Forgotten cities and anonymous hands once shaped the story in ways we are only just beginning to understand. Each revelation from Carol deepens our reverence for the resilience and inventiveness of ancient people. Educators embrace Carol's rediscovery as a beacon for curious minds. Lessons shift from rote recitation to vibrant tales of possibility. Students learn to question, to doubt, and to marvel, realizing that textbooks are not sacred, but living documents meant to be challenged. Carol becomes a centerpiece, inspiring a new generation of thinkers eager to unearth hidden truths and honor the ingenuity of those who came before. The journey through Carol also reveals the humbling power of collaboration. No single individual claims the spotlight. The true hero is the collective effort, the sharing of ideas, the patient excavation, and the respect for each fragment of evidence. The story demonstrates that history's greatest revelations often bloom from unity and from a willingness to listen to even the faintest echoes of the past. Technology plays an unexpected role in Carol's story. Drones map the city's vast expanse from above, while delicate instruments date fibres and seeds with astonishing precision. Ancient mysteries meet modern marvels, and the boundaries between past and present blur. The spirit of invention proves timeless, connecting modern explorers with their ancient counterparts through curiosity and a relentless urge to know. With each new breakthrough, the team feels their sense of self shift. What began as a mission to uncover the past becomes a journey of transformation. They learn humility not as defeat, but as an awakening. The silent grandeur of Carol teaches them the value of persistence, patience, and awe. Even after making history, the archaeologists know their discoveries are only chapters in a much longer story still waiting to be told. Tales of Carol's rediscovery ripple outward, sparking excitement in distant lands. Museums update their exhibits and guides revise their scripts, eager to share the wonder of an ancient city older than the pyramids. Carol's secrets inspire artists and writers, their imaginations set alight by mysteries that remain only partly solved. The city lives on not just in dusty stones, but in vibrant new layers of interpretation and dreaming. For the archaeologists, Carroll's revelations leave them changed, humbled by the magnitude of what they have found and the vastness of what remains unknown. Each departure from the excavation is a promise to return, to learn more, to honour the ingenuity of those who came long before. As they walk away, the wind carries both a sense of completion and the whisper of more secrets just beneath the surface. The narrator's own reflections deepen as Carroll opens its ancient heart. What began as a story of stones becomes a meditation on humanity itself. The lost city, now found, invites us all to wonder at the extraordinary feats made possible by shared purpose, vision, and trust in the future. The spirit of Carroll lingers, echoing through the ages, inspiring us to approach the past with humility and a readiness to approach the past with humility and a readiness to be surprised. Even in silence, Carroll possesses a quiet majesty. Under the open sky, framed by distant mountains, its ancient plazas and pyramids evoke both curiosity and reverence. The sun's glow lingers on mud-brick walls shaped by hands long gone. Today's footsteps trace the paths of visionaries, bridging eras and reminding those who visit that every new discovery opens a door to deeper mysteries yet to be explored. Facing unexpected truths, the archaeologists are transformed. Their pursuit of answers teaches them the beauty of uncertainty. As they share their findings with the world, they ignite a spark of possibility in others. The rewritten history is not just a correction, it is an invitation to all of us to seek, question, and imagine. Carroll stands as a testament to resilience, invention, and the endless potential for new revelation. The lessons learned at Corral ripple beyond academia. They remind us that the world is less certain and more wondrous than textbooks once claimed. New questions bloom where simple answers used to be. In the shadows of ancient plazas, the spirit of curiosity endures, encouraging each generation to look beyond received wisdom and to greet the unknown with both humility and hope. Looking back, the story of Carroll is one of rediscover for both the city and for ourselves. Its rise from obscurity into the world's imagination shows that history's great puzzles are never truly finished. Discoveries inspire not only new knowledge, but a deeper respect for the quiet brilliance woven through forgotten corners of the earth. Carroll's mystery is everlasting, as is our desire to understand. Carroll's message to us echoes through time. The human story holds infinite surprises. The ancient city's rediscovery is a call to remain open, curious, and humble before the vast tapestry of our shared past. Long after the excavations are over, Carroll challenges us to listen with fresh ears and to seek the extraordinary in every trace left by those who came before. As the sun sets over the ruins, the narrator leaves us with a final thought. Carroll, once forgotten, has forever altered our view of how civilizations begin and grow. Its revelations will linger in the minds of all who hear this story, kindling both humility and awe. In honouring the remarkable feats of ancient people, we find renewed respect for the endless power of discover and for the mystery still waiting in the sands of time. Chapter 10. Carroll's Enduring Legacy. Beneath the vast Peruvian sky, Carroll's story does not end with collapsed walls or ancient silence. Instead, it continues to echo through the halls of knowledge and wonder, reminding us of the civilization's astonishing achievements. Every rediscovered relic, melody, or structure whispers of a vibrant world, awakening our sense of curiosity. Carroll's legacy is a living thread connecting past and present, weaving humanity's story together. Long after its rediscovery, Carroll has become far more than a city built from earth and cane. Its significance grows each time we reflect on what it has taught us about human ingenuity and community. Scholars continue to study its mysteries, and dreamers imagine the lives once lived on its sunlit plazas. In Carroll, we find echoes of our own hopes, questions, and the timeless urge to forge meaningful connection. Carol's enduring presence reminds us that the shaping of civilization is a shared journey. Its plazas and pyramids reveal the unbroken chain of human creativity, echoing across generations. Rediscovery has unlocked more than just stones and artifacts. It has revealed a new chapter in the human story. This lost metropolis urges us to see that our own world, too, is built on memories and dreams that began long before recorded time. As the sun rises above Carol's ancient ruins, its legacy continues to inspire wonder. Those who once called Carol home left messages in clay and stone, hoping to endure beyond the veil of centuries. In every layer of earth, there is a lesson about persistence, about adapting to challenges, and about the yearning for beauty and meaning. The city's rediscovery invites us to listen closely to those lessons each new day. In pondering Carol, we broaden our own horizons. What once was forgotten now stands at the heart of how we understand the roots of civilization. Carol extends the boundaries of what we thought possible, showing that complexity and creativity began earlier than imagined. The stones and plazas still quietly teach us, urging exploration. Through Carol, we learn that humanity's quest to build and remember is older, and perhaps more universal than we once believed. The rediscovery of Carol has changed how we look at history. It prompts new questions and encourages us to view every patch of earth as a place where stories might be buried. Carol teaches that history is ever unfolding, with hidden truths that reshape our sense of ourselves. Its example encourages both humility and awe, reminding us that some of humanity's greatest achievements may quietly wait for us to notice them once again. Walking among Carol's gentle mounds, archaeologists and dreamers alike feel a sense of kinship across time. The city has bridged millennia, inviting today's world to gaze back in wonder. Its people once raised temples, celebrated music, and navigated the rhythms of the land, much as we do now. Through their ingenuity, Carol's citizens left behind an inheritance, a legacy of cooperation and vision that still resonates in today's world. Carol's ancient plazas and pyramids offer more than remnants of a distant era. They invite contemplation about what it means to be human. The city reminds us that civilization thrives, not merely because of technical feats, but because of shared dreams. Across the sands of time, Carol reaches out, offering insight into how communities flourish, change, and endure, teaching us to reflect and cherish the possibilities that history holds. Through every excavation and every careful brushstroke in the dust, Carol reveals not just information, but inspiration. The city's layout shows a people united by purpose, a desire to create something lasting. Today, as we stand on the threshold of forgotten centuries, we see ourselves in Carol's builders. The bridges we create between past and present, between city and citizen, carry forward the hopeful spirit that once animated this metropolis. The lessons of Carol whisper to modern seekers to remember that greatness can emerge in unexpected places. Its temples arose before iron tools and written records, showing that true civilization is born from ingenuity and unity, not just technology. Carol lives on in the ideas it sparks, the questions it provokes, and the awe it inspires. This enduring legacy invites every listener to gaze back and wonder what other stories lie waiting to be retold. Carol's enduring story invites us to reconsider how history is told. It challenges the idea that the beginning of civilization was neatly contained within only a handful of ancient centres. Instead, Carol's silence broke open a wider world, full of unexpected connections and dazzling complexity. Its rediscovery serves as a gentle reminder. Understanding of the past is always evolving, just as cities rise, fade, and return on the distant horizon. In the shadow of Carol's pyramids, visitors sense the weight of millennia pressing close. Each stone, once placed by skilled hands, carries memory and intent. This city was a testament to the enduring power of human cooperation. It reminds us that our achievements, however grand or humble, become the building blocks of the future. Through Carol, we are shown that our stories never end, but ripple forward through time, shaping tomorrow's world. We remember Carol not just for its age, but for its remarkable story of civilization, birthing creative expression and complex society long before the written page. Its rediscovery is proof that history is deeper and richer than we often imagine. When we reflect on Carol, we celebrate humanity's curiosity and desire to connect. Each new find becomes part of a growing tapestry, linking our present lives to those who dreamed in ages past. Carol's rediscovery widened the map of human achievement, making us pause and reconsider all the places history might be waiting. The city's tale is more than an academic revelation. It is a human story filled with aspirations, progress, and even mysteries unsolved. In its silent plazas, we feel the rhythm of ancient music, the excitement of new beginnings, and the subtle reminder that every civilization has stories waiting for curious hearts to discover. To stand at Corral is to confront the vastness of time. Its stones were set one by one, yet their meaning ripples through centuries. Corral's endurance speaks to humanity's hope that our creations will outlive us, carrying forward dreams, joys, and lessons. The city's lasting presence encourages us to approach the past with reverence, patience, and the faith that every story uncovered holds the power to renew our vision of the world. Carol extends a hand across centuries, urging us to remember that all civilizations, even those long forgotten, once beat with life and ambition. Through its rediscovery, we learn about resilience and the longing for legacy. The city prompts us to value our own heritage and to wonder if, centuries from now, future storytellers will stumble upon the echoes of our ambitions, finding meaning in the shadows we leave behind. For all its lost secrets, Carol has become a waypoint on the journey of understanding ourselves. Its story reminds us that beneath every ruin, there lies a narrative urging recognition. The city lives on, not only in the lessons it teaches, but in the new questions it raises. In rediscovering Carol, we rediscover a part of ourselves, shared longing to build, to connect, and to remember, bridging the ages with hope and wisdom. Carol's echo is heard in the halls of universities, in the wonder of travellers, and in the voices of those who seek to know where we come from. The survival of its story emboldens us to continue searching the unwritten chapters of humanity. With every discovery, the past becomes more vivid, reminding us that the roots of civilization were spread wide and deep long before our history books were ever imagined. In the delicate relics unearthed at Corral, we glimpse not only their world, but a reflection of our own. Their achievements challenge our ideas of progress, suggesting that the drive to create, solve, and communicate is truly ancient. Corral's revival in modern times challenges us to remain open-toe, believe that humanity's earliest cities shaped the future in ways we are only just beginning to understand. To meditate on Carol's legacy is to marvel at the persistence of memory. The city's rediscovery is a reminder that the past is never truly gone. It slumbers beneath the surface, waiting for attentive eyes and careful hands to awaken it. As scholars, storytellers, and listeners, we become part of Carol's saga, joining the ancient city in a timeless conversation that asks, how do we shape the world we will one day leave behind? Across thousands of years, Carol has become a beacon for those searching for origins and meaning. The story of its rediscovery reminds us that even lost cities can teach us much about resilience, adaptation, and hope. As our horizons widen, so too does our empathy for those who came before us, forging the first luminous pathways across the tapestry of civilization. Carol's endurance becomes a lesson in faith in the future and in ourselves. As the story draws to a close, Carol's influence radiates into the present, guiding scholars and seekers alike. With each new insight, its legacy grows brighter, threading ancient wisdom into modern lives. We find a sense of kinship with distant ancestors, marvelling at shared dreams and ambitions. In preserving Carol's story, we honour the enduring human drive to build, remember, and pass on stories meant to illuminate the ages. The city of Corral, once lost beneath sands and memory, now stands as proof of history's hidden possibilities. Its rediscovery did more than rewrite textbooks, it reignited a sense of awe and possibility. Corral's whispered lessons endure in every explorer filled with wonder, every scholar searching for context, and every listener who pauses to imagine the heartbeat of the past. Through Corral, history lives, breathes, and inspires once more. Carol's enduring legacy invites us to keep searching, questioning, and honouring the miraculous journey of civilization. As we close this chapter, let Carol's story linger in your thoughts, a gentle reminder that the past is always near. The stones of Carol may be ancient, but their message is timeless, one of unity, creativity, and the endless human spirit reaching forward, always building, always remembering. Thank you for exploring history's wonders with us.